What's up, everybody? Welcome. Dry Humping, episode 14. Thank you for being here. You know how we do. We get in, we get out, we talk about it, we try to have some fun. We got to start the day with yesterday's news. Jeff Bezos and a crew of three others, including his brother, some 18-year-old kid, and 82-year-old pilot Wally Funk. What a name. They went to space, diddled around for a half a second, came on back down. And the news was pretty big yesterday. A lot of people had a reaction to it. People were interested by it for a few reasons. I saw some people interested in it because, space, and that's always fun. You see some people interested in it because of the possibilities of other people going to space. And you saw people upset about it because him and Richard Branson are having a little space race amongst themselves, the billionaires of the world. And people feel like, there are a lot of problems happening in the world hunger, and just other things that we could be taking care of with the money that is being used for billionaires to go play around in space. I see where people are coming from with that, but you can't tell people how to spend their money. When we get our income tax checks, I get my income tax check. I go to Chipotle, I get some guacamole on that. Somebody could be upset with me and like, yo, there are people out there hungry that could eat a $1 cheeseburger, but you're over here spending $7 on guacamole. And that would be a point that they have. But you can't tell me how to spend my $7 just because right now I have a little bit more in my pocket. When you look at it from that angle, it's kind of like, hey, they made the money, they can spend it how they want to. At the same time, it should be the government doing a better job of writing tax codes to tax people so that money could go to good places. That's how you fix that. You can't be upset with Jeff Bezos, who donates his money and does other things to help the world with this money for going to space, but not be upset with the government for not having codes in place to tax billionaires. The fact that Steve Ballmer pays less in taxes than the people who rip the tickets at the Staples Center is something we should be looking at. So, congratulations to Jeff Bezos. You went to space, diddled around yesterday, had a little fun. Welcome back to Earth. I'm not upset with it. Maybe one day we could find a way for the everyday man to go diddle around in space for a few seconds too. Let's move on. I had a conversation with my mother earlier this week, and she asked me was I still wearing a mask when I went in public. And I was like, no, I've been vaccinated, so I'm okay now. Her eyes got about this big, and after she was done yelling at me and ripping into me, I felt like a 6-year-old that got caught trying to go sneak a cookie before dinner again. So, it's time to mask up again. And, damn. You know what? I'm going to be honest with you, though. In the days of the mask, before everyone started running around here with their lower face all free and everything, I was the man in Bath and Body Works candle section. Ooh. Back when nobody in the world was seeing lips, oh my God, I'd be in the Bath and Body Works candle section. I'd twist the top of that candle off, peel this mask back, give it a little sniff and let the lady see these soup coolers. And oh yeah, they was jocking. They hadn't seen no lips in months. It was all over them. And now everybody out here with their face out. So you know what? I'm putting the lips back up because mama said so. Y'all ain't gonna get no more face. But seriously, the Delta variant is out here, and we're hearing every day about people who were vaccinated contracting COVID, some being hospitalized with COVID. You're seeing the stories. You can hear people talking about it on podcasts. So it's time to get vaccinated. We're not where we should be in this country with vaccinations, and we probably shouldn't be doing things like having 65,000 people stand outside of a stadium to watch a basketball game together. But it's happening. And because that stuff's happening, like I said in my last episode, I fear we're going to be looking at 2020 all over again. Let's try to prevent that. I'm going to mask up now even when I go in public, even though I'm vaccinated. I'm not suggesting you do the same, but I'm suggesting you do the same. Let's move on. The police officer in the Isiah Brown shooting, Mr. David Turbyfield, David Matthew Turbyfield. I hope I'm saying his name right. He's the one who shot Isiah Brown a few months ago in Virginia. I don't know if we talked about it on this podcast a while ago. The deputy gave him a ride home. Then shortly thereafter got called for a domestic dispute at his home. Came back, mistook a cordless phone for a weapon and shot Isiah Brown 10 times. That police officer has been indicted on those shooting charges. The charges are reckless felony handling of a firearm. So no attempted murder, no manslaughter, nothing like that. He's been indicted for reckless mishandling of a firearm. Just glad to see something happen. Just a little bit of justice. Isiah Brown, thankfully, is still with us. He still has 6 bullets in his body, some in his pelvis, some in his leg. But he's still with us. He's fighting. Prayers up for Isiah Brown still. Happy to hear that he's still with us right now. But yeah, I just want to update that story. I saw that in the news today that officer will be facing some charges for that shooting. Let's see how it plays out. All right, let's move on. You guys, these photos right here, this is from, and for those who are listening on the podcast, I'm showing 2 photos of some sheets hanging out of a window. These photos are from Australia. If you guys don't know, the Gold Coast, Australia, and New Zealand have some of the stricter COVID policies in their countries. If you leave the country, I knew in New Zealand a while ago, if you left the country, it took you a couple of weeks or up to a month or so before you could get back to your residence. You had to come back into the country, quarantine, then go to a quarantine hotel for a little while, then work your way back into society. And you had to be tested the whole way through. So there's a man in Australia recently. Apparently they have some pretty strict policies also. He couldn't be admitted back into the country. So he decided to string a few sheets together and escape. This is amazing. Wow. I know he was pissed off when he found out he was going to be on the 5th, 6th floor, whatever floor he's on, 4th, 5th floor. And this guy had to probably be plotting on the housekeeper cart all day waiting for them to slip so he can go grab some sheets. And we all know what this is, right? We know what this is. This man had a booty call. And that booty call had a flight the next day, and he was about to miss it. He was like, nah, I came all the way back to Australia to get this popping. That I got to get to that ass. Damn that. And he did what he had to do. He was caught the next morning, probably after he procured said ass. Let's move on. Yo! Tom Brady made a funny. Check this out.
But we found our rhythm. We got on a roll. Not a lot of people, think that we could have won. And in fact, I think about 40% of the people still don't think we won.
I understand that.
You understand that, Mr. President?
I understand that.
Yeah.
Oh, man. All right, Tom, we see you. It's kind of confusing. I mean, I'm pretty sure Donald Trump is very confused this morning. But, hey, it was a funny moment. I liked it. I would like you better when you stop playing for another team in the NFC South. So for right now, we still don't like you. But, hey, great moment. Good luck losing to the Falcons next season. Dry humping breaking news, people. Adele and Rich Paul are going to get married. Let me tell you right now, those two are in it for the long haul. Everyone went crazy when the picture came out of Adele and Rich Paul at a basketball game together. And then you see the stories where people have been speculating that they've been together for months. I knew that the moment the picture came out. We've known who Rich Paul is now for about 15 years or so. And we've never really heard of anything about his dating history, anything about it. Adele is famously private. She's going through a divorce, so she's probably been working on her album, which is probably going to be amazing. But if there's a couple songs on there about Rich Paul, oh man, it's going down. So just know, those two will be married soon in a very private ceremony. And we're here long term for it, baby. RichDele. You heard it here first. Let's put that on the screen. RichDele. It's happening. All right. Congratulations, Jayla Jackson and Emani Stanton. These two young ladies are the first black girl duo to ever win the International Harvard Debate Competition. So just round of applause. Shout out to them for this. This is an amazing feat. Black girl magic. We love to see it. I saw it this morning and had to give it recognition here. Congratulations, congratulations, ladies, congratulations. Last but not least, Texas. Fuck you. That is for all the Senate Republicans in Texas and all the Republicans in Texas who were pushing forward this bill and just passed this bill into law. That basically says it's okay to just skip that part in history about the KKK being bad. The whole Martin Luther King speech. You guys can omit that if you want to. And as scumbaggy as it is, it honestly doesn't make much of a difference. Let's be honest. What is going to make much more of a difference in these kids' lives will be what they learn at home. So the things that they hear their parents talk about, their parents' social circle, their family, those will be the things that they take with them moving forward into adulthood. If I'm being honest. With that being said, to go out of your way to make sure it's not taught or to say it doesn't have to be, it's still dickish and we know why you're doing it. So fuck you. And there's that. But I think back to a few years ago when I saw 5 and 6 and 7-year-old kids in Make America Great Again hats. And I thought then, what are they hearing in their homes? And it may not all be bad, but sometimes what are they hearing? What are they hearing in their homes? What are they hearing about immigrants or minorities or other situations? Those are the things that are going to form these kids into adulthood. So as much as Texas is giving a big FU to minorities and black people in particular, which is just another sign for me to stay the hell out of Texas, it's also at the same time not that big of a deal because we could teach our kids the right thing at home. And it's going to be incumbent upon parents to do that. And understand that what we teach our children in the home is what's going to form them into the adults that they become. Not elementary school or middle school teacher. Because there's a middle school teacher in Texas that wants to gloss over that part of history, even though it's in the curriculum. They're going to do so anyway. And there's a teacher in Texas that wants to dive into it and lay it out and get into it. They're going to do it anyway. And that was the case before this law passed. That'll be the case after this law passes. But still, Texas, middle fingers! And that is it. We're done here today. We will be back next week. Thank you for tuning in. As always, this has been therapeutic for me. It really has. I hope you got something out of it as well. We'll see you again next week. Until then, have fun.